When we face difficulties, be they losses, failures, or unexpected twists, it's natural to feel powerless. For Carl Jung, however, these moments of crisis are essential to the process of individuation, the journey of becoming who we truly are. Pain, according to Jung, is a messenger. It's through pain that the unconscious communicates, revealing parts of our psyche that need to be confronted and integrated. But how can we find strength when everything seems lost? The answer lies in accessing the self, the deepest part of our essence. Within the self, we discover resilience, purpose, and the courage to rise again. In this guide, we'll explore how Jung's ideas, including shadow integration, the role of archetypes, and our connection to the collective unconscious, can help us transform pain into strength. Every setback can be seen as a descent into the underworld of our psyche, where shadows and wounds await. But Jung reminds us that by embracing this journey, we uncover the internal resources we need to emerge stronger and more whole. Get ready for an exploration of Carl Jung's psychological and spiritual universe. Together, we'll uncover 5 steps to transform life's challenges into growth and self-realization. Carl Jung viewed crises as calls from the unconscious for transformation. He believed that what knocks us down often represents aspects of ourselves we've ignored or suppressed. When life challenges us, the unconscious seizes the opportunity to surface these neglected parts, demanding attention. Jung described this process as a journey downward. Just as mythological heroes descend into the underworld to retrieve hidden treasures or confront monsters, life's adversities compel us to face our own shadows. These shadows, our fears, insecurities, and traumas, hold not only pain, but also the potential for healing and growth. The central question becomes, what is this difficulty trying to teach me? Jung believed that rather than fleeing from pain, we must confront it head-on. This act of courage helps us uncover the meaning behind our suffering, transforming it into a catalyst for inner change. Jung emphasized that the shadow is not merely the dark side of our personality. It's also where our repressed energies reside. When life brings us to our knees, it's often because we've lost touch with vital parts of ourselves, be it courage, assertiveness, or even compassion, that have been banished to the shadow. Take, for example, someone who feels worthless after a professional failure. By exploring their shadow, they might realize they've tied their self-worth entirely to external success, neglecting other sources of meaning. Shadow integration, in this case, would involve reclaiming an intrinsic sense of value that exists independent of achievements. Jung believed that integrating the shadow gives us access to powerful inner resources. By recognizing and accepting the parts of ourselves we once rejected, we reclaim strength, creativity, and resilience. Another cornerstone of Jung's theory is the hero archetype, found in the collective unconscious. When facing adversity, we can connect with this archetype, which embodies the ability to confront challenges, learn from them, and emerge transformed. In the hero's narrative, the fall is always a pivotal moment. It's in the valley of the shadow that the hero discovers what truly matters and uncovers hidden resources. Just like the mythical hero, we too must embrace the fall as part of the journey, trusting that it will lead to a stronger and more complete version of ourselves. These 3 ideas, the message in adversity, the integration of the shadow, and the connection with the hero archetype, serve as a foundation for finding strength in difficult times. They remind us that pain, far from being an obstacle, is a powerful ally in the quest to uncover our true selves. Maria is a successful professional who feels completely lost after losing her job. Initially, fear and pain overwhelm her. But as she reflects on the meaning of the crisis, she realizes that she had ignored signs of dissatisfaction with her career for years. Unemployment, though painful, forces Maria to confront what truly matters to her. Inspired by Jung, she begins exploring her passions and discovers a desire to work in a field more aligned with her values. What once felt like a defeat transforms into a gateway to a more authentic life. Joe has always avoided confrontation. He sees himself as peaceful and steers clear of conflict at all cost. After a painful breakup, however, he realizes that his inability to set boundaries contributed to the relationship's downfall. By exploring his shadow, Joe uncovers a repressed assertiveness he had hidden out of fear of rejection. Through integrating this aspect of his personality, Joe learns to stand his ground and express his needs. This growth not only helps him heal from the breakup, but also lays the foundation for healthier relationships in the future. Carla, following a battle with depression, feels stuck and hopeless. Therapy helps her recognize that she's living out the hero archetype in her personal journey. Her suffering is the dragon she must face head-on. Drawing inspiration from stories of transformation, Carla begins to see her struggle as a path to discovering her purpose. Over time, she channels her pain into motivation to help others, volunteering at a mental health organization. The adversity that nearly broke her becomes a source of strength and inspiration. These examples demonstrate that even in our darkest moments, transformation is possible. Pain is not an endpoint, but a starting point. By facing crises with courage and self-awareness, we can access internal resources that once seemed beyond reach. Jung's teachings invite us to see adversity as an inevitable and valuable part of the human journey. By shifting our perspective on pain, we discover not only strength but also meaning. At the core of our psyche, Jung believed, lies an unshakable center, the self. It is within the self that we find the strength to face life's falls, as it represents our wholeness and transcends external circumstances. When disconnected from the self, we tend to over-identify with our wounds, failures, and fears. However, by re-establishing this connection, we regain perspective and serenity. How can we connect with the self? Jung recommended practices such as introspection, active imagination, and dream observation. Dreams, in particular, act as powerful guides, revealing messages from the unconscious. In times of crisis, they often present images or narratives that symbolize paths to healing. For example, a recurring dream of falling might reflect feelings of helplessness, but also suggest an opportunity for rebuilding. Jung emphasized that it's in the descent facing the void that we find the way back to the self. Beyond the individual self, Jung pointed to the collective unconscious, a deep layer of the psyche shared by all humanity. Within it reside archetypes and universal experiences of pain, resilience, and renewal. When life brings us to our knees, we may feel isolated in our suffering. Yet Jung reminds us that this sense of loneliness is an illusion. Pain is a shared experience, and by connecting with stories, myths, and people who have faced similar struggles, we draw strength from our shared humanity. The archetype of the wounded healer, for instance, teaches us that our wounds can become sources of wisdom. Like Chiron, the mythical healer who bore his own pain while helping others, we can transform our suffering into growth and inspiration. Jung saw the process of dealing with adversity as an alchemical transformation. The fall, or nigredo, marks the beginning of this journey, a dark moment when the old self must disintegrate to make way for something new. Strength does not arise from resisting pain, but from embracing it fully and allowing it to transform us. Just as an alchemist turns lead into gold, we are called to transform our pain into wisdom and our losses into self-discovery. Jung's insights remind us that every challenge holds the potential to make us more authentic and whole. The strength we gain from this process isn't just about survival, it's about emerging renewed and aligned with our true essence. In the midst of difficulty lies the opportunity to become whole. These words encapsulate Jung's wisdom, reminding us that life's most challenging moments are not just periods of suffering, but invitations to transformation. Pain, no matter how intense, serves as a bridge between who we were and who we can become. When we view adversity through Jung's lens, we see its larger purpose. It pushes us to confront our shadow, integrate lost parts of ourselves, and rediscover our essence. Each setback brings us closer to a life that feels authentic and meaningful if we are willing to explore what it has to teach us. The strength we seek comes not from outside, but from within. It awakens when we access the self, that unshakable core of who we truly are. Within the self lies the courage to rise, even when everything seems lost. It is there we find the certainty that we are more than the circumstances around us. Jung also reminds us that we are never alone in our pain. Suffering is a universal experience that connects all human beings. When we draw inspiration from myths, stories, and the strength of others, we tap into the collective unconscious and realize we are part of something much greater. This understanding gives us the motivation to keep going, knowing that overcoming hardship is a shared journey. Finally, remember, falling is part of the process, but staying down is a choice. Each time you rise, you become stronger, wiser, and more aligned with your true nature. Life may knock you down, but Jung teaches us that the purpose of existence is not to avoid the falls, but to learn to transform them. May you find the courage to face your shadows, the strength to rise, and the confidence to walk toward wholeness. As Jung said, who looks outside, dreams. Who looks inside, awakens. Awakening is the true force that guides us through difficult times.